There. Hi y'all. How y'all doing? It's been a while getting here, y'all. Technology has not been my friend. Nonetheless, I'm here. Let me focus. I just, well, 30 minutes or so ago, I finished my live with, I hope y'all have heard me. 30 minutes or so ago, I finished my live with just my thoughts. And I thought I would pop over here to Davidson D and make a live and a continuation of what we were talking about. The topic was love or prenup, but I just and my co-host brought up a scenario where if we worked as children and paid a bill, had a bill in our name, that was wrong. That our mother or our parents shouldn't have did that to us. There were several of us in the comments that thought it was just they were teaching us responsibility, or they were teaching us, how to budget and how to save and be responsible with monies and things. Um, but I understand where he was coming from, where he said it was just wrong. It shouldn't have happened. I get it. I get it. I understand it. I'm grateful for the lesson. I'm grateful for being able to have Davidson D safe zone where I can come and sit in it and kind of think about that thing like, golly, that was kind of wrong, but again, I can only imagine the situation that my mother went through. I can only imagine the things that my mother had to endure. So, you deal the hand that you're dealt until you learn how to do differently. And that's what I'm going to take from it. We also um, just, this is the safe zone, so we can talk about things. Most often, people reference the sperm donor, and um, that man did this, or that the father was not an absentee father. We often don't discuss where the egg donor had some issues and some questions as well. That there were, again, some things in having to, if you had a job and had to pay bills at the house, or were responsible for certain things. Was that a bad thing? Was that a good thing? Did it teach you something? Were you able to glean from what some might consider a negative situation, or something that would have broken someone else? Um, I don't know. I don't know. Um, One thing for sure is that we are all living. Um, we were not all raised the same, and because we were not all raised the same, some of our experiences were different and are different. So the things that we took into adulthood, you can be siblings living in the same house and see the one situation um, different. So, um, with that being said, we're all living alternative lives. We're all living through a lens of some trauma, some healing through the trauma, some processing through the trauma. Um, as you sit into that fact that maybe it wasn't right that I had to pay a bill, or was responsible for things that children should not have been responsible for. You take the time and um, you take the time and you ask for. You take the time to give yourself some time to breathe through that. I am going to attempt to bring. Oh, she's gone. I was going to attempt to bring Jeanette live onto the show. I sent her an invitation. She had a alternative view to it, to not understanding that it was a learning experience. Here she go. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. Hey, Jeanette, thank you for joining. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Uh-oh, wait a minute. Have I been talking all this time and I can't hear? Hold on. Or can you hear me fine? Okay, because I can't hear you at all. Let me see if it's something else I gotta press. Uh-oh. That wasn't it. Hold on. I'm not sure. I done pressed all the stuff I think I see to press. Uh-oh. Are you froze? It looked like you froze. Okay. She come back. Um, the internet has not been kind to us. So uh, say something. Uh-uh. It might be me. Can y'all hear her? I'm gonna click on some more buttons. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm just clicking on buttons now. um, Video, audio, input, noise. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on. Well, go ahead and say you had a alternative view on um, having to pay um, when you had to pay bills as a kid, when your mama had to pay bills, or you worked as a teenager and you paid bills. Can you express what you thought about that as I try to get this audio together? I have put myself on mute so that I can try to figure out why I can't hear you. But you keep talking. Oh, I can't. She left again. I'm sorry, y'all. Technology, I'm sorry, y'all. I just went live. If you only knew, trying to get here, and it was like, girl, just make the video, do it, go live. But again, um, the alternative. Hold on 1 second. The beauty of being live. All right. If there is anybody else watching, or Cliff, why did you think that? Think he said that it was wrong. It was just wrong. Actually, he said use the word pimping, saying that your mother was pimping you, and I was like, oh no, that was kind of harsh. Um, but it again, if you sit in that and you feel some kind of way, or it feels like it's bringing up a trauma or a hurt or a pain or something that you hadn't felt before, be able to identify that and sit in it for a little while. Hug yourself. Be patient with yourself as you work through it. Our parents didn't know everything. Our parents absolutely didn't know how to make. They didn't make all the right choices or right decisions when it come to raising us, or some of the things that we were exposed to, or some of the experiences that we've had as children. Um, if I could do it, redo a whole bunch of things for my children, I absolutely would. I absolutely would. So I know if I would, I want to think that my parents would as well, or my grandparents, if they could redo some things or have a different understanding about some processes, that they would redo it. Um, but again, that's where we learn how to grow. I was watching a video the other day, and it was saying about how the video was saying the other day about how, even though your parent might not have taught you how to cook, you learn how to cook. Your parent didn't teach you how to do fellatio, so they had, but you know how to do it. So hey,
Well, fellatio is absolutely different.
well, I mean, it was funny to me because it was like, she made a point. But yes, ma'am, I can hear you
Well,
now. Thank you so much for joining me live.
you know, so
Now,
thank you for the invite.
you are welcome. Now, you said you were watching the my previous broadcast on Just My Thoughts about
Hmm.
when he mentioned about um, you having to pay your bills as a child, that was
Right.
wrong, that your mama was pimping you, and you didn't
Well,
agree.
you know, that's a whole nother situation for me. And I do understand, what he's saying, but as a girl who's lived it, I'm glad that my mom, you know, took my money, helped me out, however you want to put it. But it taught me one thing to know, and I know to this day, pay your bills. Now I know my mama probably paid her bills, and the little change that I had was extra money to keep groceries. I was a teen mom with two sons, keep pampers and milk and all this, etc. Whatever. It maintained the house, and all I'm doing is doing my portion. The house is maintained, you know. So I that's why I disagree with a couple of things that whoever was saying. I mean, how you gonna teach a kid responsibility? You know, we start out giving them the titty, the breastfeeding, then we give them a pacifier to soothe them. But how we gonna teach them, responsibility when you go to school? I can't take your books to school with you and carry them for the kindergarten. I can't go in there and write your work for you. I mean, where does this start? That's just
And
my
I
opinion.
and I understand this is Davis and D's safe zone. You're
Mm-hmm.
safe to express your opinion. Safe to express, express.
Yeah.
Um, And I agree that, I considered it as that. It taught me how to budget. It taught me, again, how the difference between a want and a need.
Right.
To save my money, to, when it was time to pull some triggers, I can, but it's also time for restraint.
Yeah.
So
And I didn't like it back then. It took me a minute to understand it. Hell, I jumped out of a two-story window, ran away, and forged my birth certificate, and got an apartment. And I knew then I had to keep paying that rent every month. I wasn't gonna be in that one bedroom.
indeed, indeed,
So I took it as a life skill. That's what I'm gonna call it, a life skill.
what we often talk about how um, the sperm donors
Mhm.
um, as your egg donor.
Mhm.
Were there some questionable things?
Well, absolutely. I mean, a lot of my story, and there's trauma definitely. I can say I have a lot of still unanswered questions because my mother passed away, but I think in my instance I just pushed through. I just had to either veer from the answers I needed or put them in the black box, however you want to put it, because I know I won't get them resolved. But yes, um, it's part of trauma. It might not be trauma, but it's still trauma if it still affects you. If it affects you, I mean, you know.
Absolutely. Trauma is not only physical. Trauma is emotional. Trauma
Hmm.
is spiritual trauma as well.
Hmm.
That can no, trauma is not always physical.
Right.
Some of the decisions, I believe, some of the um, decisions that my egg donor made was because of the situations that she was put in.
Right.
So, you can only teach from the perspective that you have.
Right.
So
And
I
if you
think
have no perspective or know nothing, you can't teach nothing.
exactly,
You know.
exactly,
Um,
exactly. You
which
make
leaves our youth out to the wolves to
yes,
figure it out on their own.
absolutely. And I think that was a lot of um, it was a lot of figure it out on your own, and uh, I know you got wings to fly.
Hmm.
So it's like, man, you you might think I'm smart, but I still need some guidance.
Yeah.
And I could say that now after
Right.
having the conversation, after being able to have that conversation with her, so
Mm.
I can understand from the perspective of not being able to have that conversation, how that can affect you as well.
Well, at least you can still get answers because I can remember I was always the one to get a whipping about my mouth to ask me questions. Like, Mama, why I gotta do this? Why I gotta do that? Why me? Why I gotta watch all the kids? Why I got? Because you're the oldest. But that makes no sense. That makes no
Hmm.
sense to
Hmm.
put all the responsibility on the oldest child because she the oldest. And that is one thing I didn't do to my children. I didn't make Jonathan, be the one to have to cook and do all of this and wash the clothes and all that for all the kids. That's not the way it should be.
Hmm.
So yeah, she taught me a couple of things, a few things, but there's a lot of things that I probably shouldn't have known, probably shouldn't have seen. Um, just trauma. But I had to decipher between all of that and figure out what was a little bit of good and use that because all the other stuff was, in my 20s, it was overtaking me. I was out of control,
Hmm.
so I'm thankful. And trauma affects you. I don't care who you are, um, it affects you.
Absolutely. Um, excuse me. Thank you for sharing. It does affect you, and it doesn't. Those things happen. Um, there is a poll that I am going to send out, and I would ask that everybody participate in the poll.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there are things that I can remember when I was 5 and 6 years old. And but then I can also hear an adult saying, "Oh, they're just a child; they're not gonna remember."
Right.
Oh, but we do remember, and sometimes it comes with a traumatic um, response. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
Yeah.
important for
I don't
us
know
as
if
adults
you
to
can
remember
see
that.
that little mark right there, right here. I was about 2 or 3. It's somewhere off in here. Um, my mom was smoking in a party house full of people, and I got burned with a cigarette or a joint or something. And the mark is still there. It's like right under my. But I mean, look how long it's been, and I know where this came from. You know, I was like two or
Absolutely,
three. I hadn't started
absolutely.
school yet, so I had to be 2, 3, or 4 years old, trying to get up under my mama, and me being the kid, but her not paying attention. She burned me with the cigarette. You know, and it was a bad enough burn that it still stuck with me, and I'm 50, well over 50 years old. So
Mhm,
yeah, kids do
mhm.
remember.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's just, as adults, we absolutely have to be mindful of that. We have to remember, yes, if you remember as a child, yes, the children will remember.
Hmm.
Um, I remember, just sitting, and now that the children are older, and to hear them tell stories about when they were smaller and the things that you did and what they remember seeing. It could be same siblings in the house, but they see the things differently.
Hmm.
Absolutely. So, yes, I just wanted to come on one and go live. I haven't been live in a while.
Yay! I'm so glad you
Yes,
did.
and to
Consistency, consistency.
yes, ma'am. And just to give that other perspective on it. Again, I
Right.
didn't, I didn't think of it as being pimp, but hey,
And
it
and and I
worked.
guess I guess again, and that's why I when I talk to people, a lot of things I have trigger moments, trigger points, whatever you want to call it, and certain words, certain things I can't explain. It just triggers me to a whole nother realm of the situation. I see things totally different or way deeper than that person that's speaking. I mean, I didn't like the way he put it, but if that's how he feels, that's how he feels. That's why I chose not to comment or call in because, I mean, on his show, it's just my thoughts. Your show is a safe zone. I feel like we can
Indeed.
say things like that in a safe zone, but
Indeed.
those are his thoughts. So I don't want to
Indeed.
respond.
And yes, this is the safe zone. And thank you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it is important. And I'm glad you said that because um, it's not a moment that I don't want to post something live on the safe zone or in the safe zone. It just I recognize that once you come in the safe zone, you have to be handled properly. You
Right,
just can't let people come in and be their authentic selves and
hmm,
expose themselves and leave them.
right,
That's detrimental. You can't do that. So
absolutely,
I have to be mindful of my guests as well as myself.
right,
And I want
absolutely,
it's the safe zone. I want everybody to be safe. And
absolutely.
after releasing, um, it's the love that takes over the trauma where that trauma left a wound
Right.
or left a scar or left
Hmm.
that mark.
Yeah.
Next, when you see it, you can now know that you exceeded that in living love that much more.
I know. Right. You see,
Uh
you
huh.
see how it looks
Uh huh.
like
Yep.
2 or 3 years old.
Yep.
It's still there.
Yep.
So
Yeah. To know that you have lived love beyond that mark,
yes,
beyond that trauma moment.
mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And to know that I want to believe that if your mother could say, "Sugar, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I ain't see you right there."
Yeah,
She would say that. Absolutely.
absolutely. I think she is.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Again, the things that we're doing as adults, that we got to be mindful that these many people be around looking, taking it all in.
Repeating.
Huh. Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for
Well,
coming
thank you
into the
for
safe
having me,
zone.
dear, and blessings to you. And you go, girl.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right.
So, like and subscribe to the page, guys. And I am going to figure out how to send out this survey, so that I can get you guys' response. In the This is the fifth day of 2023.
Right.
What would you like to share with the people?
I'm still trying to grasp that it's 2023. Um, I don't know. I mean, I told you earlier, I just fell into a depressive moment this morning. I don't know why. I don't know. But it's 2023. And I think
I
it's the.
almost I
Huh?
almost fell into one um the other day. I don't even remember what day. Or it could have been the day too. Because and for me it's, it's 2023. You supposed to be here. You supposed to have this. You supposed to be doing this. You supposed to be. You supposed to be. You supposed to be. You supposed to be. And it's like when I get in them supposed to be moments, it get real big and it get
Yeah.
real heavy. And I had to shake myself really hard and was be like, you know what? The only place you're supposed to be is right here, right now, present.
Right. Right.
Not whatever story you done created in your head, not whatever moment you done went back to in your head where you could have did something different 900 years ago, because you can't change it.
I sure can. So ain't no need thinking about that.
Absolutely. And listen, I can it can that's why this the safe zone. That's why I it living love is the safe zone for me. This brain can do some stories and take me some places that nobody can ever take me.
Absolutely.
So I get it. I understand. I be feeling it.
And you know what? That's really the first time that I think I've had this kind of day, that kind of in my head since I've been here. I mean, literally, it was like in my sleep. I told you about the dream the other night, but last night I saw Freddie. I was crying. He was smiling. I didn't understand, at first. I'm like, why the fuck is he smiling? But I'm like, he in heaven. Of course he's. My mind was just, it was a mess. I was just going through some mental something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And I just came to the conclusion that that smile was, you're doing good. Keep doing what you're doing, hang in there. And that's when I got up and left because I was just feeling alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm good. I'm good and grateful. You know, be all right.
Indeed. Yes, indeed. There is something, and again, I get it. I work for a place that is my ex's initials. TWC,
Wow.
that's Tyrone's initials. Tyrone Wilbert Clemens.
Wow.
Absolutely.
And see, things like
Absolutely.
that be like, like this the way it's supposed to be. Because little things like that, to me, that would be like a connection. Like, you know,
Absolutely.
um, like I'm on the right path.
But am I?
Yeah, I'm
But
telling
am
you.
I? Who's to know? I swear I don't know. I
I
touch
don't know
paper,
either.
not people.
Okay. I
I,
don't have no agenda. I don't have no plan for the first time in my life. And that's why today just disturbed me, to wake up and like, well, you ain't where you supposed to be, or what you supposed to be doing. I was just driving my own self um, to figure out something that I still don't know.
absolutely.
I still
And
don't know.
who said you were supposed to be where you were supposed to be when you were supposed to be there? Who said
And
that?
I
Who
guess that was
gave who
the
gave the
end,
timeline?
the enemy of the other me and the old me, and she don't even exist no more. So I don't know. I guess it was just some mental. I don't know. I just don't know what happened. It was just, and maybe seeing Freddie in my dream just triggered me to a whole nother. Like it's 3 years. It's gonna be 4 years since he passed. I mean, why am I not doing something?
But and then the other thing is, well, as I was just saying on just my thoughts. Sometimes we stay in fantasy too. Fantasy is the if fantasy is the safe zone. Fantasy is where it's comfortable. Fantasy, our dream state is where we are technically our most vulnerable. Once you
Yeah,
get into that fourth realm sleep, that's when your body is supposed to repair itself the best. So I
it,
want to think that he was smiling because he is in the best place.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But you know that
And
my I
mm-hmm.
remember my immediate, and like I'm waking, I'm like I just keep laughing. And I had Dutch, and then he in heaven. This is
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally coaching my own. I'm therapeuticing, if that's the word, my own self in the middle of the night. Did you hear me?
Absolutely.
I mean, it was a very unique thing. And the night before with my mother in my dream, and all these years, my mother she's came to everybody else, but never to me. So that was like, and for her to be standing, I don't know if you remember me telling you, but my mother had one leg before she passed. But for her to be standing in front of me in this favorite dress, from a long time ago, just looking as beautiful and it was just as real as day. Um, I just didn't know what was going on with my mental. I was just freaking out. I was freaking out. But thank God, as usual, as he always, do, he brings me back to life. And I gotta keep moving. I won't forget
Indeed.
him, but I gotta keep moving. You know, um, Today was just crazy to have that day
Indeed.
here.
I I love you. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. I love you too, boo. I know I'm supposed to be exiting, right? Okay, Didi, how
Uh-uh.
do
And I'm not ending yet, or I hadn't ended it yet.
Oh, okay.
The other thing is growing and changing means you got to unlearn sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes we think unlearning means you got to forget. You don't. To unlearn something, you don't have to forget that it happened. You just have to do different.
Yeah.
Unlearn that way that it happened and do it a different way. To um, to purposefully see the positive in a situation. It's
Mm-hmm.
a skill. It's a learned skill.
You're right. Definitely.
And most situations, when they come, that's not the first thing we want to think of. Let me learn how to hold on to my skill in this situation. No, we'd be like, get. Well, I know I do.
Yeah.
I be
Yeah.
fighting the air.
Yeah.
But then after fighting the air, you got to sit and say,
Like,
what am
get
I
it
supposed to be?
together, girl. You know.
What am I supposed to be learning from this? What good will I take from this moment so that I don't have to experience this bad no more?
I hope it was just some peace. Some peace
Absolutely,
because I'm just tired of being sad, baby.
absolutely,
I'm tired of being
absolutely.
sad. Um,
You you say just some peace like that's a little thing.
oh, that's major.
What?
That's major. And shit, I don't even know if I ever had peace. I
What?
just know that peace is, a straight line, in which my line's been like this my whole life. So when peace
Absolutely,
does come through, I want to know what it is and I want to embrace it, um, live it, love it. You know, I'm just tired of being sad, hanging on to sad memories, hanging on to the trauma. And I know I'm not the only one. So I can imagine, women in general that's feeling like I'm feeling. You have a day, I mean, tomorrow would be a better day, but when you just have that day and you just don't know what to do. Some women lose it literally.
absolutely,
I'm blessed. I'm lucky. I got lucky today because I snapped
absolutely,
out of it, Dee. But a lot of women can't snap out of it.
absolutely, absolutely. A lot of women that stay in abusive
Yeah,
relationships. A lot of women that stay in um, unlivable conditions.
right.
A lot of women that, a lot of women that go into corporate America every day, dressing themselves up, putting a mask and a smile on
Yeah.
every day.
And that was what I said today when I got up and got dressed and another world is wearing masks or 50% of the world, but I said to myself, you are gonna understand this mask that you must wear. And we are wearing masks. Because I'm a broken woman. I'm still heartbroken. But I gotta live, Diddy. And I gotta appreciate life. I gotta embrace life. And I just gotta do this.
Absolutely.
I
Because
wake
what's the alternative?
up. No, it's, well, but otherwise there's no alternative. Because I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
That's
do
it.
this.
That's all. So
And
who
this,
gave you the blueprint on how to do it?
girl, Jesus. And I think he's still writing on the blueprint. He's still building.
So if you have a day or two where it the builder don't build every day. Some days he
Right,
account for a weather storm,
right,
a tornado, a hurricane,
right,
supplies being backed up, or something. Why is it that we can't? God got
right,
to be building on us every day.
right.
We get a day off too. You get a
Yeah,
day to give yourself some grace and cry and say, "Ooh, I miss that man." Oh,
yeah,
okay. Shake yourself off. Let me go on. Oh, I missed that woman. As much stuff as she did or did not do, I missed them. Oh, okay. You get a day. You get some grace to do that. You do.
Good, because today was one of those days.
Absolutely. The
Yeah,
barometric pressure changed here. I
yeah,
get it's 5 days into the new year, but literally it was a storm here.
right.
And
You
the
know, yeah,
atmosphere changed several times.
yeah,
If the atmosphere, the clouds, and the sky can change, why you can't, Gary?
you're right. You're so right. And thank you for reminding me. I needed that
Absolutely. Yes.
because I don't want to go back to a dark place. I refuse to go back there, Didi.
Absolutely not. But you can have a day to rest, to recuperate to where you have gotten to. We out again. Who gave the book a blueprint to say on this day at this time you supposed to be doing X, Y, Z, and elemental P?
Um,
Nobody.
yeah, yeah,
God didn't even give you them kind of instruction.
he sure did. He don't need no.
He said, "I just got the plan. You just gotta follow it."
Right.
And ooh, we if he gave the plan that easy. He don't.
Hmm.
So be easy on yourself. The world is hard enough.
Yes, absolutely.
Situations and circumstances are hard enough. Be
Ooh, Lord,
easy
you
on
know, we
yourself.
done had some. Ooh, Lord. Thank you, God.
I did say in 2023 I'm choosing violence, so y'all be careful.
Okay.
Be
Be
careful out in
clear.
these
D
streets.
Rock. D Rock
Cause
is choosing violence, okay?
I think if I have been purposefully good and kind
Mm-hmm.
to people. I'm not just nice to you. I'm kind to people on
Okay.
purpose. So if you get to the point where I got cut up on you, then you need to learn a lesson.
Right.
And so
You gotta
I'm
get the
giving out
violence.
giving out lessons this year. And some of them
Ooh.
might be violent. Some of them might have a cuss word or two. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to I'm gonna try to pull a scripture out, but sometimes the cuss word come out
Okay.
first. So
You
my
know I ain't one to
apologies.
talk because you know my mouth can be bad. Unless I'm at work or church, my mouth is bad.
Well, I have been known to. Ooh wee. God still love me though.
Okay, yes he does. He loves us all. Didi,
uh,
where's
yes.
your brother? Do your brother and your mommy watch?
Uh-uh. I don't know. I I don't know. Hey,
Okay.
I am here live
That's not it.
doing DeRosha Davidson D. Say
David
don't.
did.
That's
All
it.
right, all right.
And thank you for coming.
You're
And
welcome, bud.
again, um,
Anytime.
I hope you feel lighter. I hope
I
you
do.
feel loved.
Yes.
I hope you feel like you can fight on
Yeah.
another day, hour, minute. Sometimes you gotta break it down. I do. Sometimes I had to
Right.
break it down that simple. I
Absolutely.
just need another minute or another hour.
Thank you for the safe zone. Thank God for the safe zone. And
Indeed. Thank
blessings
God
to
for the
you.
safe
And
zone.
y'all click like and share, yeah. Safe zone. Come through.
Yes, indeed. I'm gonna be more consistent as well in posting and coming live with different topics.
Right.
Some change is happening. It's good change. Thank you again for coming and sharing.
You're welcome, but I can't see the bottom of my page, so you might have to do whatever.